Good afternoon, everybody. David Shuster here on Take Action News. This is the weekend of February the 16th, 2013. So glad to have you on our show. A special salute to everybody who's listening over WPWC 1480 AM in Washington, D.C. Also, everybody who's watching over our YouTube channel, Take Action News TV. This is the show where we'd like to tell you about what's going on in the world of politics and government and what you can do to influence outcomes. And many of you in the Chicago area, the Illinois area, took some action last fall when you defeated Congressman Joe Walsh. You sent him packing. This was the congressman who famously was negligent or was famously delayed in some of his child support payments. So you kicked him out of Congress. And there was this report from the Chicago Sun-Times over the past week that Walsh, who was a Tea Party favorite on the Republican side, represented Illinois' 8th District. He filed a request earlier this month in the Cook County Circuit Court to drastically reduce his child support obligation due to his employment being, quote, terminated through no voluntary act of his own. Yes, Congressman Joe Walsh, who famously told Sandra Fluke to get a job when she was trying to testify about whether or not her contraception should be paid for by the government, the man who thinks that everyone is on their own, they should get a job. Well, he apparently has not gotten a job since being bounced from Congress, and now he wants to reduce the amount of money that he is obligated to pay to his ex-wife for child support. Family friendly? I don't think so. Daniel Marins, our executive producer, your take on the Joe Walsh story.
You know, sometimes it's better to go quietly into the night, and I think that Joe Walsh should really consider doing that. He's the gift that sort of keeps on giving, but I think at this point it's sort of sad. You know, I don't really need to know that this person has a failed personal and family life now that we've gotten rid of him in Congress. You know, he was part of sort of that goof troop that came in 2010. People that really just, you know, maybe were more at home kind of ranting on a street corner, not people that were serious about serving as members of Congress. He had extreme conservative views. And if you remember, David, it wasn't just Sandra Fluke. It wasn't just sort of him being a deadbeat dad and then lecturing Americans about not paying their bills. It was also the way he demeaned his opponent in the race, Tammy Duckworth, the congresswoman-elect in Illinois' 8th District. So he basically said that she was gloating too much about being a veteran of the United States military when she lost 3 of her limbs. So he's a special case, and you know, I just wish that we didn't have sort of an automatic flushing out of these characters. I mean, you still have people, right? I mean, Steve Stockman from Texas, he's one of your favorite congressmen, I know that. Texas' 36th district. He invited as his +1 to the State of the Union address last night rock star and hate monger Ted Nugent. What? The guy that said he would be in jail or dead next year if President Obama was elected, the year before President Obama was elected. This is a man who's literally threatened the life of the President of the United States, and the Secret Service investigated, and that's who this member of Congress is inviting to show up to the State of the Union address. And I saw, it was very cute, David. I don't know if you follow Steve Stockman on Twitter. I really recommend it. He took a picture of himself with Nugent at the beginning, and he said, "Me, Stockman and Nugent." Stockman and Nugent. That's it. Link to the Twitter. And so I retweeted it. I said, you know, hashtag man love.
Well,
soulmates.
And, you know, Nugent, never mind just sort of his threats. I mean, just the language that he's been using as of recently. I mean, there was a Congressman, Langevin from the East, who essentially was injured in a gun accident many years ago, and has come out and spoken quite eloquently about the need for gun control. And the comments that Nugent said about him, the derogatory comments questioning his mental capacity, and I'm being nice about it. But, I mean, this was a guy who, he was injured by guns. I mean, and there's Ted Nugent just saying, you know, these crazy things. And oh, by the way, with President Obama, Nugent had called him a piece of rhymes with spit. And I think everybody knows what the word is. And he'd also said the president can suck the end of his gun. Well, I mean, that's the kind of coarse language that Ted Nugent is all about. And you're right. The idea that a sitting member of Congress would bestow the honor upon a guy like that. I mean, it's not like there are endless number of invitations to go to the State of the Union. And the idea that Ted Nugent would get an invite is baffling. Although not so baffling, I suppose, when you think about the just complete visceral hatred that people on the right have. And that also, by the way, extends to Joe Walsh. I mean, Joe Walsh had an amazing sort of Tea Party hatred of this president and claimed that the Tea Party, family-friendly Republican values is the only way in this country. And yet we find out, well, he doesn't really have many family-friendly values, at least not according to this court filing. This is a guy who's been unable to get a job and wants to reduce the amount of money that he pays his ex-wife. And oh, by the way, now he's threatening to sue the Chicago Sun-Times for libel because he claims they got the story wrong, when in fact, no, they got the story exactly right. The Chicago Sun-Times and everybody else is standing by this. So deadbeat dad Joe Walsh, well, at least we don't have to worry about him in Congress anymore. Maybe Congressman Steve Stockman will be next. Who knows?
And you know, him and Louis Gohmert are our favorite members of Congress. And David, if people want to follow Steve Stockman on Twitter, I encourage it. I think it's a highly entertaining feed. And let him know how you feel. At Steve Stockman US, and he calls himself the most conservative member of the House, member of Congress from Texas.
Yep.
I guess that means he beats Louis Gohmert. So I mean, that's really the title.
We're going to pause and let our syndicated stations join us. You're listening and you're watching the Take Action News on We Act Radio.